Chapter 20. I Can't Cook. The next couple days passed true to what he said. The stallion made sure that Az was kept at a distance from me, but Az didn't seem to mind. He was off with the other foals playing and learning with the older boys, including Colt. Me, I wanted to spend time with Lavender, but the stallion had put me in lessons to learn to weave cloth and cook food. I made a tangled mess out of the weaving, so the mares thought it best if I try my hand at dyeing the cloth. I wasn't crazy about my hands being in very hot water smooshing the cloth, but I was actually pretty good at matching the colors. As for the cooking, well, let's just say not even the stallion could handle my attempts at cooking. One night, the entire herd ended up in the woods for the night because I picked up a large pouch of the powder that was known as laxative, a very strong laxative, by mistake, something called senna, and put it in the soup because I thought it was a herb mix. But all the foods were so different than I'm used to. After the night in the woods, the herd as a whole decided maybe I should just learn what I could from Lavender from now on and let my natural abilities appear on their own. The very few days I was doing these things, I hadn't seen Lavender. One of the herd women told me she rarely left her hut, but said no more than that. By the end of the day, with all my chores, she was already in bed asleep, and me too tired to even talk. When the next morning came, I was excited to tell Lavender what everyone had decided about me, but she was already gone. Colt was outside the hut like he was waiting for me. For a filly, you sure do sleep a lot. Lavender's out at the far plain. I figure I would give you a ride out there. She wants to talk to you and I. Sounds good to me. What about? If I knew, I would have said, all right, let's go. He let out a sigh, helping me onto his horse. Does your horse have a name? I asked. They all have names. This is Diligence. What kind of name is that? I thought maybe he was named like Blackie Tar or Ink. Well, he wasn't yours to name. With a click of his cheek, he took me to the far plain. The horses were everywhere. I saw Lavender on snow just staring back at us. When we reached her, Colt itched his chin. What is it, Lavender? I think it's time to tell her everything about me. I wanted to do it away from the herd. Also, I noticed the buffalo seemed to be on the move, which is odd for this time of year. I'll go check it out while you two talk. I jumped down, not any more graceful than the first time. She looked at me on her tower of a horse, Snow. Colt nodded and went off fast pace over a hill. Now then, Lavender said with a hesitance, I want to make sure you were who you said you were before I told you anything about me. I don't want to bring trouble to the herd. I don't know what you mean, but you can tell me anything you want to. We are friends after all, right? She nodded back. Right, but I don't want you to feel like you have to just because Father likes the idea of it or Colt. Who said anything about them? I just like being your friend. Well, nevertheless, you need to know this. Eventually, either way, you would find out. My legs are not like others in the herd. I cannot run nor walk. With great effort, I can stand for short periods of time. That is why I am always on snow or in my house, so not to cause attention. We have a theater at Harlt's for people that are injured. You can see the inside of bodies being dissected and the bones, flesh, everything made into art pieces for sale. Then you wouldn't have to worry about anything. So you would want me to die? Maybe made into a purse for you or a wallet for your father? Well, of course not. You're my friend. Then why would you say that? Vita, you do know Harlt's is an evil man who kills people because they are too old, too young, too fat, too thin, sickly. That's wrong, Vita, all for the sake of false entertainment. Vita, have you ever even seen a wheelchair or someone that has a cast not in the park? Well, no, I'm not sure what you're talking about. A wheelchair? A cast? And you never would there, Vita. I know you are learning, but what you said still hurts. I could tell she was almost crying, and for some reason I felt myself getting upset. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know what I should say or what I shouldn't. I only know what was done. The people never complained about it. I thought it was what was done everywhere.